I'm here from quantlabs.net. Today I wanted to talk about the legitimacy of cryptocurrencies with these kind of moves and news stories. So, 2 days ago, Mr. Trump decided to tweet that the Fed should cut interest rates to zero or less to refinance the debt. Here's some facts that I've picked up on Bloomberg News. This time last year, under Trump, the deficit for the U.S. government was about $800 billion. This year, up to September, it's around just over $1 trillion deficit. So he's spending more money than last year, and he's not living up to his promises of balancing his books. As a result, that means he's now trying to use negative interest to keep the spending machine going. This is insane. I know during the campaign, I don't think Trump would have promoted this. Obviously, this is part of the shadow government. You know, whoever's running the show as the real government of the U.S. to put this into his head to say zero interest rates, just like in Europe, what was announced yesterday was bonkers in my mind there, is a good thing because it lowers interest in it and increases the duration of the debt, carrying the debt. Absolutely crazy. Why? Because when you put money into the bank, it's costing you. You have to pay the bank to hold your money. Minus the fact that with a bail-in, when the banks do go bankrupt, when this happens, they'll be able to take a portion of your deposits to stay alive. That's what the government has by law in a lot of Western countries. So that's not talked about. Also, what's not talked about is when it comes to trying to save money, really to save money for retirement, it's next to impossible. So I think no matter what age you're at, no matter where you're at in your life, no matter what your risk profile is, you need to find something to counteract this. Everyone's piling into gold and other precious metals, and there's some performance there. I'm not doubting it, but when the markets go up, and that's unpredictable, you will lose value on your gold trade. So there's not a lot of options out there. People talk about real estate. I'll be putting out some videos on that in the next few days or within the next week. So if you come over to my website, here's a pitch for you. It's coming. Quantlabs.net. Just come to the store option right there. This will be redesigned in the next day or so anyways to make it a lot easier. I'm now doing the Quant Analytics service. In there, I purposely, the last 3 months, seeing this coming, to really focus on cryptocurrency. If you've not watched my video I posted yesterday, it was nearly 2 hours. Easily the trade of the year, again, not talked about, was how Bitcoin went from $3,000 to $12,000 in a matter of 3 months. That's the trade of the year, and that might be the trade of the next few years because you've made 3-4 times return just by buying and holding, or as they call it, hodling. Will that happen again? I'm not sure. But all I can tell you is if Trump's wanting to take interest rates negative, making it harder for you to get by, to grow your account, to get higher savings, especially for retirement, you can guarantee yourself that you'll be losing money no matter what you do. So that brings in the utility of now cryptocurrency. There's a couple things that's happening. A lot of Western countries, and throughout India as an example, they're trying to get rid of cash. Why? Because governments know that they're running out of money. They're needing to tax more and more and more. Look at France, where they try to tax 75% rate 10 years ago for the ultra wealthy. Who's going to want to work? Who's want to create jobs? Who's going to want to run a business when they're taxing 75%? And who does that money go to? Who does it support? Probably the bureaucrats in the EU and other not so friendly things that you probably don't support on a social level. So a lot of people are now going to start looking for alternatives to generate money and to hopefully preserve it. The way I look at it is cryptocurrency is the way. It might not be Bitcoin, it may be something else. And as I said, a lot of governments are now trying to control cash or eliminate it. Why? Because once they eliminate cash, that now means that you're not able to buy things anonymously. But because now they have things like in Canada, Interact, debit cards, or bank cards that are associated when you go out and you buy, they know exactly what you're buying because they are tracking it. And the banks will track it, no different than what you put up on your iPhone through social media or whatnot. So the anonymity decreases day by day. And that's where cryptocurrency becomes more and more crucial as more and more people move to it, and also as a form of, I don't like to use the word or phrase tax evasion, but you know what I'm saying. Anyways, so with that in mind, the value of Bitcoin is going to become more important, or anything like Bitcoin. What I have seen is that Bitcoin and a bunch of the coins do trade together, but there's a few other coins that don't. Monero, EOS, Dash, these are all private anonymous coins. So that brings us back to the world of concept of cash. So as long as the world starts to move into the area of being able to spend money and transact with anonymity and privacy, especially with Monero, it will become more and more crucial as time passes, as people are getting kind of fed up with how things are playing out, especially with these negative interest rates. And now that the freedom, the leader of the free world now saying, hey, I'm all for it. Sorry, he's going to start losing a lot of support because of that. So I think the importance of cryptocurrency will become very, very crucial over the next, who knows, few years. And Amazon may support it. Who knows? Just depends where the market demand comes. So for now, I've got the services, the Quant Analytics. We're just setting it up now. I've just put up the track record, so you can go on my website and get daily track record. I put up a video on that on my YouTube channel, so you can get that. It's part of the transparency that people want. And if it proves itself and it's consistently profitable, I see no reason to charge, bargain herald rates, because now I'm proving the world that if this thing does become profitable, I could easily charge a couple $100 a month. I know there's a market out there that will pay for that, as well as other areas that I purposely designed with this. So with this service, the analytics, it's very cheap right now. You'll be grandfathered into it. Focuses on 2 asset classes: retail Forex for any broker out there, because I'll be making available, hopefully next week, the custom expert advisor that's been built by somebody that will work with any version of MetaTrader 4. So it'll work with any, obviously, Forex broker your choice for the world of MetaTrader 4 and this EA. And then you'll get email signals for me for the entries on the Forex side. So on the crypto side, you get both the entry and exit. I make available some open source code on Python to interact with it. I use Kraken on the U.S. so I can stay in compliance to help U.S. citizens get into crypto. Originally, I was with Binance, and we know Binance has removed itself from the U.S., and there'll be the watered-down version coming out in the next few weeks. So crypto is a space. The strategy has been doing pretty decently. Even if you get 0.5%, I'd be pretty happy with that, considering where things are going right now. With the indicators that you see with the data, everything's just pointing down. I mean, the news yesterday was just, again, bonkers with what Draghi wants to do with the ECB. The worst part is one thing to go negative and go deeper negative and hope that something comes out of it. Long term, it's just a disaster. But the other thing that shows their desperation is they're willing to buy up bonds of member states or countries with no schedule. It's just open-ended, so they could do that forever and ever. Amen. I think that's just a disgrace from any reputable institution. And as we know, that's Draghi's last stand as well. And then we have Christine Lagarde, who's who's not really is more of a political economist and not really much of a fiscal hawk or dove when it comes to running the ECB. So I think that move will become a disaster over the next few years. Anyways, outside of that, it's crazy way things are. And again, crypto will become more and more important, and the utility of it will become more important. But it will go mainstream at some point. It will go mainstream at some point when the big players like the big merchants like Amazon will start to support it and transact in it. But the governments are trying to control it, all access points, so that they can control your purchases and track your purchases as well as track your tax portion of that, because that's what they want. So it's going to be an interesting world, but I don't know. That's going to be hard to save, and it's going to get harder and harder. So this brings about this sort of service, how it will become more critical. As I said, right now it's very cheap, and I'll be raising it 50%, probably doubling it in the next few weeks after that. So that's the plan. Just wanted to let you know what's going on, give you some rationale on this article here that is on a Canadian paper, but it was on Business Insider, or whatever that site is, on financialpost.com. Donald Trump is tweeting that the Fed should cut interest rates to 0 or less to refinance the debt. That, my friends, is crazy. Anyways, we shall talk to you later. Wish I could give you some better news on that, and we shall talk to you soon. Have a good day.